Hey guys, Kearon here with Explorminate. Welcome to another, I don't know, I'm calling these little featurettes, I guess. This is Endless Space 2. I am playing the alpha early access build that everyone who wants to has their hands on now, and we're going to do a little bit of a showcase on, I guess, at least in my book, the thing that's second on my list, right? First off, we showed politics. Hope you've checked that video out. If not, please do. Um, and that's the most exciting, unique new feature I'm seeing in the game. What we're going to demonstrate here, though, is combat, including its forms in space, and um, ground combat, as it's included in the game so far. And I do want to preface that I've already noticed a few things get added since I actually had access to the build, what was it, about a week before I think it went live to the public. So they've already rolled out a few things on combat that I've noticed today that are new. So good to see some progress, and I think combat is definitely a work in progress. So keep that in mind. But thanks to Max Power, I think it was in the group, in the YouTube comments there, I wanted to see some ground combat. So here we have it. Now let's get right into here. I got some Giga Cruisers. I think that's what I called them. They're just medium attack ships, and we're gonna do some ground combat. Now, I'm sure a lot of you played around with this. I tried to do some number crunching here to find out some specifics. So, as far as I can tell, and I mean, this is about 10-15 minutes of just playing this out, reloading it, playing it out, and stuff. The typical battle has 3 rounds. So, Blitz, if you want, increases the rounds. Infiltration decreases the rounds, and preemptive bombing just seems to be its whole own beast on its own. We'll come back to that in a second. So as you see here, well, we'll backtrack a second. I'm playing the Sophons, so I have my 30 infantry. They are ground, so they have 72 health. They do an average of 12 to 24 damage. Well, you can read those, right? So that's the manpower cost. They're more efficient against air. You see armor is more efficient against infantry. Does more damage too. You're 24 to 48 as opposed to the 12 to 24. More health and things. So obviously armor's a little better. And then if you look over here real quick at the Cravers, same thing. So you're going to have relatively similar stats. A couple interesting things though. When I say similar stats, Cravers are good against air. My infantry is good against air. Both of them are, right? So that's going to be the rock, paper, scissors. So they're good against air, air's good against armor, and armor's good against infantry. I'm assuming that. Oh, I don't have to assume that. I guess you can mouse over air. Anyhow. A couple things to point out here, though. The Sophons, they're 72 health, 12 to 24 damage. Cost 5. Cravers, 60 health, 10 to 20 damage, and cost 5. So same cost, but more health and more damage for the Sophons. Now, I'm not sure if that has something to do with the tech I have. This will require more testing. If anyone's noticed the answer, please throw it out in the comments. I'd be honestly interested to know. But I seem to have an edge, which is interesting, because if anybody would have the edge, I would assume it would be the Cravers. At least when engaged in, fight to the death and that kind of stuff. But whatever. It would be neat to see some specialization. So you can maybe pull different troops from different planets. I don't know. You could get this really complicated, I assume. But at least for now, it looks like I have a bit of a stat improvement. And as far as I can tell, tanks are the most, well, I'm calling them tanks. They're armor. Tomato, tomato, right? They're the highest I can get tech-wise. So I've run this a few times. Again, like I said, 3 rounds per battle. Infiltration gives you extra health, but you have less rounds. Thus 2. Blitz, more rounds, less health. So I think the difference is here. Infiltration, if you're fighting here with pretty equal forces, I mean, like technically has more infantry but have armor, so it's estimated it's a pretty even battle. That might be beneficial. There's less rounds, so I'm going to do less damage, meaning it's going to take longer to take the system, but my guys stay alive. Now Blitz, my guys are going to die a lot faster, but there's longer rounds, so if I have just the manpower advantage, just go in there and hammer them. Or if there's just not much going. Now preemptive bombing, it's just it does damage. Sometimes it kills population. Sometimes it kills buildings or well, improvements, right? And it seems to do a little damage to the troops. Although I couldn't like get that to. I don't know. It was being wonky on me. I don't know if the graphic just wasn't loading or whatever. Again, this is an alpha, so I'm not judging. I don't think anyone should. If you want to get on the forums and scream, "Oh, this is a terrible game. Why isn't early access?" Go find something else to do because for an early access game and an alpha stage, this game has a ton to it and it's crazy polished for this stage. But that being said, this is all kind of still just kind of up in the air. A few things. I ran some numbers. So these guys versus these guys. So my Sophons versus the Cravers. With infiltration at the end of it, I had a little less than half of my infantry, a little more than half of my armor left, and he was about half strength. It seemed to be most effective in terms of me surviving per damage ratio. No, why does it do that? And then Blitz, actually, I lost everybody, and they only took 64% of their damage. So I didn't have the superior order numbers. I did less. Remember, with the infiltration, he was about down to half strength. With Blitz, it was terrible. I lost everything, and he was still 2/3 strength. Preemptive bombing, I was down to 17% and about 29% respectively, and they were down to 36. So everybody took more damage. Why? There was the full 3 rounds, and I didn't have the health bonus, is how I factor that in. But I did do a lot more damage to him, so it's kind of easy. Well, not easy, interesting, sorry, to contemplate how these might factor in. And there is definitely a distinctive difference here, mostly being how many of my guys live compared to his, and how many turns this is going to go on, right? If you're wanting to quickly cap planets because you have fleets on the horizon, you might have to blitz and things. I mean, there's definitely some room already for some pretty strategic choices. Well, we'll say tactical choices. It could be both, I suppose. And that's nice. Let's do infiltration real quick because it's the shortest rounds. We're just gonna watch this. We'll load right into the battle viewer. No real sound effects or music or anything right now. Pretty basic. You guys have seen this. I don't have any problem with the hands-off approach of the combat viewer, and honestly this seems to be a little bit more than things I've seen in other Space 4X, so it's nice they're giving us something, but I hope that this gets another level of polish and more depth before the game comes out and they don't have to wait for an expansion. Alright, so 47 and 57 and something, so those are the exact same numbers, yeah, that I tested earlier, so falls right along the side. So it was a draw because, no one really won. He's down less than half strength. I'm down about there too. So I think if we were to keep this up, we'd be fine. Now notice this doesn't hurt my Giga Cruisers at all. If we check out their manpower, we're both down some manpower. I am 75 of 150 and 75 of 150. So it seems to draw equally, at least from this is kind of like in a vacuum. Bear with me, guys. I haven't had extensive time to test this. I mean, I suppose I have, right? Everyone has time. But from what my tests have come across, I'm saying, it seems to pull equally from the fleet, which is nice. And definitely this ties in with, let's go to the text screen here. If we were to grab, say, Extreme Composites, you get more manpower from the Deca class, which is kind of an interesting way to balance. I don't know if this is on purpose or, I'm not Amplitude, but that's an interesting way to balance in the importance of past ships, right? If you improve their manpower, that means they can carry a lot more troops. Now, maybe not the same amount of troops, and we'll look at that in a second, as the biggest, baddest, meanest ship, but still, that's something to, write home about, I suppose. And it helps keep them legitimized even later into the game. Now, I haven't got into these late game modules, and honestly, again, while I'm doing the video here, kind of partway through, is just because with my politics video, I was raging for like 20 minutes because I was trying to get it at the perfect like spot where an election started up, but before someone won, so I could show the results. And rather than bump up right against the edge of where the game might be ending and things aren't in place, I'm just like, we'll do it now. And you can experience some of this yourself, you know? I mean, whoa, I'm gonna let you experience stuff? Yeah, no, for real. There's basically the, what do we, oh, adamantium, yeah, sure. And the antimatter, you can play with in the beta if you can get up there. Let me know what it is about there. Haven't managed to get that in a game before and score a victory yet. And then obviously there's going to be like the third tier. Well, yeah, the third tier stuff here, which we have no idea since there's nothing past Era 3 as of yet. You know, got to keep us on the edge of our seats. So, with that being said, let's take these gents, move them over here. Well, we'll end the turn real quick. Oh, you know what? I should really embed it. Genius idea mid-video, guys. Let's embed a hero and show them off. We'll do that. Alright, so new trade company created. Excellent. And the academy increased. Oh, okay. This is kind of funny, actually. This works well with a military-focused video. I got this random quest, Seeding the Cloud, Part 1. It's literally militarize your sophons. Now, just because they're highly scientific doesn't mean they're not deadly, but these guys are scientists to begin with, and they seem to go pretty heavily pacifist. I have 30% of my population military right now. Research 5 technologies in the military category. That'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Ground battle, we're actually going to... you know what? Let's finish this. We're not going to watch it for the sake of... There's no special victory or anything, but there, we got a decisive victory. We captured this. La la, these are now our people. And by our people, I mean, where's our population? Here we are. Okay, so we have now taken over the Cravers, which they are militarists at heart, obviously. These guys don't make peace. Interesting, so I subjugate them. I hadn't noticed that before. I wondered if mine had gone in. So that plays really well into the whole politics system. We're going to go back to politics because it's so crazy. Boom. Look at that. We have a very fractured Senate, and if we look at our population, it's actually pretty evenly split, I feel like. Like, obviously, Sophons are the majority, but you do have a bunch of Cravers. Oops, population screen here. Which are militarists, industrialist, ecologists. Anybody else who's military focused? No. But definitely that's starting to build up in my empire there. So, we won there. Will we be able to take that fleet? I wonder if we will. 25? Yeah, we probably can trash them. We'll see, though. We'll fly this way. We'll engage in battle in a moment. And we'll actually save that for the end. Let's jump over real quick to our ships. So, the troop breakdown. 50-50 air. No real way to really... How would I put this? I have investigated this enough, so we'll come back to this another video. I don't want to bog down in that, but it's interesting, the breakdowns. I wonder if we'll be able to influence this. And then your whole empire manpower. It does seem that you can spend manpower to rush things. At least it seems that way. I haven't been able to get that at work yet, but it seems like that is a feature that may be introduced at some point. I don't want to... I might be reading things entirely wrong here, but that would be an interesting dynamic to choose. Am I using manpower to rush projects or production, or do I use it to defend my systems, to man my armies to go on the offensive? You know, that would be actually a really interesting dynamic I would like to see. A lot of games, especially Space 4X, I feel like, you know, they use some kind of form of manpower, right? Just population. And it's like, oh, your billion people that were just farming and researching are now like bloodthirsty Rambo types pillaging the galaxy. It doesn't really work that way. I think the use of manpower is possibly a cooler system. Yeah, so it depletes from the reserves, how quickly you can re-fortify your ships and things. But real quick, let's get over here because we're actually getting on along here quite far already. I want to create a ship real quick, and I just want to show this off. Oh, come on. You can show off? Oh, we gotta grab. So we'll grab the Iota class. We won't actually be able to fill this, but this is the carrier. Look at this beauty. I mean, the ship design here is amazing. We have, of course, the ability to sort the modules, and they've added tooltips here. That's one of those things I mentioned. Yes, they've added since the game originally, well, the alpha was originally available to me. So, for example, you got absorptive shielding, which gives you some extra damage to your flotilla. Kind of nice. We're gonna throw that up there. Not there though, because that's a support module, and that goes to the blue blinking thing there. Let's throw a few different options here. So fusion torpedoes. This video is going to go on a little longer, guys. I'm sorry. Hopefully this is informative for you, though. They have added some more tooltips here. So you have obviously your damage per second. You can just break down your base DPS. That's always useful. Crit hit chance. Sure, that's useful, I suppose. I guess I will have to look at the RNG there. But then it breaks down these two different weapon types. So you have projectile. Projectile was another one. Energy. Yep, just projectile and energy. Now, how those play into things, let's jump over to the shielding. Improved plating, so this gives you health and projectile defense. Also there, this gives you energy defense, projectile, energy. Not entirely sure how those play in. I don't really seem to have much of a... It's just the overall defensive power of the ship. It's just some number to basically measure how defensive it is, I suppose, right? Everything I've looked at here, it doesn't really break down. So does every 10 of these reduce it by 10% or something? With diminishing returns, obviously. I guess if you stacked a ship, you want it invulnerable to something. Maybe you would. I don't know. We'll leave that up to the Amplitude to decide. But essentially, you do have, at least so far, health and shielding. Shielding, I'm not sure if it just like regenerates after battle or what, but there seems to be two different types of attacks and types of defense, which I'm okay with. I think defending against those. And then here you do have, with the weapons, the other big key part is the ranges. So they're optimal at medium and average at long. So we'll put a laser up here. Nope, I cannot drag anything to the right place. As opposed to, we'll take some torpedoes and throw them there and throw some slugs here. So let's watch a ship. There we go. It's beautiful. So some good broadsides there. I mean, I could load this thing up with just missiles if I wanted or whatever, but you're going to want to be smart. This gives it size, which determines how much, like, command points. I was going to say army size. It's command points. It has a name. How much that takes up. Let's jump out of there. And so that's a ship designer. Quite beautiful. Definitely some groundwork for really good strategy. I just hope it's not as rock, paper, scissory as the original Endless Space, because I thought that was pretty atrocious, to be honest. I don't know, maybe I shouldn't say atrocious, but it turned me off just because it was either you were steamrolling the galaxy or you were retooling stuff, so you wouldn't just get steamrolled yourself. And I mean, combat's not really all or nothing like that. Okay, ship, are you gonna... Oh, don't be a jerk. I should have stopped you. Well, shoot. Is there anywhere I can go into combat even if I'm gonna lose? Oh, down here. Excellent. Okay, good cruisers, unite. Let's look at this. So, this will be easy. So, Prowlers, we'll show this real quick. They are really good at long and medium range. Not because of their type, but because of their guns. Okay, and they're small attack ships. Giga Cruisers are my just custom ship. Again, long and medium. They're very good based on my weapon type. So, let's jump down to advanced. I know I've seen some questions. What's advanced do? It just basically shows the actual numbers with what am I saying? Whoa, that you choose, right? So I can see how these would line up, because if he has a short range, he's probably if he had short range weapons, he'd probably do something like that. So if I go like that, oh well, that's 0 compatibility for both of us. But if I do that, I get some bonus compatibility. But I'm going to be prudent, you know. I'm going to shoot at him for a while. Now manufacturing has some effects. I don't know. Anomaly effects that I haven't seen those yet, but obviously I don't know if you're in a nebula or something, might do something. So I want to do more damage as opposed to defense, because I don't have any defense. So we're just going to broadside. We're going to watch this, and we're going to fight. There. Alright, so we got this nice... Oh, manufacturing. That's my stupid plan that I renamed it manufacturing, because I was spreading out pretty quick, and I was like, what? So you do have the ability to speed it up, slow down. You can do a scan, which shows like my health and everything. Very pretty looking. I know I've seen some criticism on the cameras. Stuff like that isn't quite as... That's a good shot, but if it's just zoomed out too far, it is sometimes. I think the camera can use some work, but I don't know. You don't really get an effect of how the ships are. They're turning a little bit. You can see. Trying to broadside them. We're missing or shooting at the other ship. I mean, it's really pretty. Goodbye, suckers. I think they'll make some adjustments to it. I'm not too worried about the battle. It seems like it's better than others I've seen, so I'll give them that much. And this is an alpha again, so nice to look at. I don't know if you noticed there, holes actually take damage, and you'll see like where the bullets hit or the missiles hits and all that. It's pretty neat. So anyhow, I think that's combat. We could keep digging into this a little bit. I will obviously be doing follow-up videos as more features are implemented and stuff, but I don't want to drag this on too long. So there's combat both in its ground form and its space form, I guess. Yeah, sure, we'll go with that. So hope that was informative to at least someone out there. Let me know any cool tips or tricks you've noticed about combat, and again, keep checking back for more feature videos. I think I'll probably hold off on a full Let's Play until there's a bit more to the game. And when I say a bit more, I mean just less of a turn limit. Because I think any Let's Play, you know, I do is going to be similar to anyone else that's had their hands on the game for 2 or 3 hours. So until there's something a little bit more to show off, we'll just do the features here. But I appreciate you watching, and keep checking back for more videos for Endless Space 2 from myself, and obviously great content from probably better content, let's be honest, from other Explorminate contributors. So thanks for your time, guys. It's been a pleasure. Have a good one. We'll catch you next time. Thanks.